welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a blue look because I am today wearing a navy skirt and I always love an excuse to do a blue eye look. So I thought we'd use some new makeup together. I still have some things left that I haven't used yet, or that I at least haven't used on camera yet. So I have this Douglas Interstellar Smokey eyeshadow palette. I have used this one a couple of times, but it is still relatively new. And I'm sure this is a German brand, I think, and it is sold in the Netherlands. I'm not sure if it's sold internationally, but I'm sure you can find something similar if you want to recreate this look. Then some real new stuff is the Givenchy loose powder in the shade number 1, Mousseline Pastel. So this is the lightest shade, which is meant for fair skin tones. I already own the pink one, and I love that one, but I thought we should give the fair one a try. I have this highlighter by Lottie London, which I believe is a bit more glittery, but we can give that a try. And I have this cream blush by Holika Holika, which is a Korean brand. Then I also have this Glam of Sweden thing, which was like €2 at the local drugstore, which has these little balls in it, which is supposed to be a bronzer. So I'm very excited about that one. And then I have some minor things. So that's actually almost a full face of new product. So let's get right into it. Because this palette is so smoky, I want to start with my eyes. So I'm going to prime with my Essence eyeshadow base. I really haven't formed a proper opinion about this one yet. So let's get into the Interstellar Smokey eyeshadow palette. Thus far I've only created looks using the more turquoisey shades in this palette, and now I want to dig into those bright blues and maybe add some white to match my clothes. I think that would be nice. So to keep it nice and precise, I'm going to start with my pencil brush by Too Faced, and I'm going into Gravity Grey, this shade over here, which is a bit of a blue gray. I'm going to put that in the outer corner and in the crease. By the way, if you hear a lot of noise, it's storming outside pretty badly, but I still wanted to upload a video tomorrow. So I hope that's okay. So far I like these shadows, but they're not very buildable. So this is pretty much as intense as it's going to get. So we are going to deepen it up a little bit using the shade Black Hole, which is just a matte black. And I'm going to put that a little bit lower. So also this black is not incredibly intense. I'm going in with a fluffy blending brush to blend these two colors together a little bit. So if you're not careful, this color actually blends away very easily. And I used a pretty tacky primer for my eyes, so that's not the problem. And this is a pretty cheap brand. It's a house brand by the makeup store. So I wasn't expecting any miracles. And I gotta say that this doesn't look bad. But it's not going to get any more intense than this, so just be aware of that. I think I want to make it a little bit more blue. So I'm going into Misty Blue, which is the, well, blue shade. And I'm just going to put that at the edges of what we just blended out, to make it a little bit more blue and a little bit less gray. See, that added a nice flavor to the look. Now I'm taking this precise packing brush, which is a little bit fluffy, and I'm going into Galactic Blue, which is the sparkly blue shade over here, and I'm going to put that in the center of my lid. And I haven't used this one yet, and I hope it's as pretty as it looks in the pan. It reminds me a little bit of the Super Blue Quad by Charlotte Tilbury, which is one of my favorites. Okay, so this one does build. It's actually looking kind of pretty. It's not as sparkly as the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it does look nice. But you do have to build it up quite a bit. I'm just going to fill in my entire lid with this. Ah, it's okay, it's nice. And then to connect the outer corner and the lid color, I'm going into Nebula, which I think is just going to be a black, but maybe it's more of a glittery navy. It seems to be a matte shade with some sparkles in it. But I think the sparkles are actually visible on the lid. I don't know how long they'll stay there, but I do see a little bit of sparkle. So now I'm taking the pencil brush again that we started out with, and I'm going into Lunar Eclipse, which is a satin white shade with a bit of a blue-grayish cast. I'm just going to lighten the inner part of the eyelid with this. This actually translates a lot more as a grey. Now with my original, not my original, but with my fluffy brush, I'm going into Milky Way, which is a matte white. And I'm just going to put this underneath the brow bone. Glam up the look a little bit. Yes, I think that's nice. So that's it for the top part of the eyes. I did get quite a bit of fallout, just as expected. So I'm going to clean that up and I'll be right back. So now let's go into the face makeup. For my base, I don't think I have any new products, but I do have something interesting to test out together. I have these color adjusting drops. They're from Etos, which is a Dutch drugstore. But I'm sure you can get them from many brands. Because I have a couple of foundations that I bought a couple of years ago when I was a little bit darker. Or at least when I still got a summer shade. So I have this Nars foundation, which I absolutely love. But I got it in the shade Light 4 Deauville. Which is actually, like it says, a light shade. And I'm usually a fair. So I thought we could mix this together with the color adjusting drops. So I'm going to put 2 drops of this on the back of my hand. These actually look a little bit grey. So I'm very interested about that one. So I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of this. I don't know, maybe that was way too much, but in painting you have to use a lot of white to create a lighter color. So let's hope that also applies here. I'm going to mix them together on the back of my hand. And I think this is a nice shade for me. That actually looks pretty good. Still just a little bit too dark, but it's definitely a lot better than the unmixed shade. So what do you think? Compared to this color, it's definitely a lot better. Yes, I think these shade adjusting drops will come in very handy. Oh, I completely forgot to put on my primer. I was so excited about the shade adjusting drops. I wanted to use my Laura Radiance primer to make sure this dewy foundation remains on my face a little bit longer. But I guess I'll just use a setting spray and it'll be alright. For concealer, I'm going to use my Pat McGrath concealer, which is still pretty new to me. I did use it a couple of times, but I know you only have to use the tiniest bit of this, so that's what I'm trying to do. And even that is sometimes too much. It's like a third of what I'd usually use. I'm taking my tiny concealer brush. Look how glowy this foundation is. I don't remember it being this glowy. I guess I hadn't used it in a while because of, well, you know, the shade match wasn't right anymore. So I'm afraid some of this shine is going to go away when we use our loose powder, but I do like my foundations to be set down a little bit more, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the Givenchy loose powder in shade 1 Mousseline Pastel. It has these 4 little containers in these 4 colors, and there is a little powder puff that comes with it, but I like to just shake something in the can. So I put about this much in the can, or in the lid I mean. And I'm first going to use my little Real Techniques powder brush, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of all 4 colors. And the powder becomes sort of blue-grayish then. Ooh, this feels so nice and soft. Yes, this definitely gives a different effect from the pink powder that I also use. This is a little bit more brightening. Doesn't take the shine away completely. And then with whatever is remaining in the cap, I just set down the edges of my face. But I don't like using too much powder there. I think this is a beautiful combination, this powder with the foundation. Lovely. See, there's still a little bit of shine left, but it's not sticky anymore. Yes, perfect. This is a definite yes for me. Then let's go into the Glam of Sweden bronzer. I really just picked this up because I wanted to try this little ball thingies. So there is a protective cap. And I'm not sure if this shade is going to work for me at all, but we're just going to give it a try. This is my typical bronzing brush. Let's see. Oh god, these little balls, they all stick into my brush. Okay, I think I got them all out. Oh, it's not as intense as I thought it would be. Okay, this is going to be a disaster. Because these little balls, they keep clinging into the brush hairs. So I guess this idea is cute. But it's going to take forever to use this often. The bronzer is actually very pretty though. It's a little bit orange. Not too much. It has a little bit of a sheen. I went a little bit crazy here. Now I just took something off the lid. Maybe that's better. So no, I'm not completely convinced about this one. It's just a little bit too impractical. I will use it up of course, but no, it's not my favorite. So let's finish up the eyes. I'll zoom you in again. So we're going into the Interstellar Smokey again and into the pencil brush. I'm going to start by intensifying the inner corner. So I'm going back into Lunar Eclipse, which was the silver white shade. And I'm going to put that in the inner corner. And now I think I'm going into Celestial, which is this dark blue, which appears to be more of a satin formula. I'm just going to tap off my brush really well and focus this in the outside underneath my eyes. That's actually very pretty. Yes, I think that's nice. I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, now I have two options for eyeliners. One I haven't used yet and one I have, but I want to use this one and I'll reserve this blue Chanel eyeliner for a different time. This is Intense Steel, which is just not the right shade. But I can use this LA Girl eyeliner. Oh, that looks very nice. I think that makes the look just a little bit lighter, which is nice. And then I also have this Guerlain eyeliner, but I don't think I want to use an eyeliner today. What I will do, because I don't use this nearly enough, I have this Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter eyeliner in the shade Spandex, which is beautiful, but I never think about using it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a glitter liner. Yes, that's nice. It got stormy again. So that's with the glitter eyeliner. I think that looks very nice. Now I'm just going to add my Smashbox eyelash primer and some Givenchy mascara, and I'll be right back. So I finished up my eyes and my eyebrows. I actually finished up this eyebrow pencil by Kiko, which had the pencil on the one side and the brow flick on the other side. I already finished the pencil off ages ago, and now I also finished off the flick part. So I think this looks nice. I think the mascara is probably standing on its last legs as well, but for now it's okay. So now let's go into another new product, which is the Nudrop Lumi Cheek by Holika Holika. And this is a cream cheek, so I am curious how this is going to work. A bit of a shiny, bronzy shade. I thought it would be nice and neutral with this eye look. Oh, that's actually nice. So for those of you who are in the Netherlands, you can buy Holika Holika products at the HEMA. And they're actually quite affordable. And otherwise I'm sure you can get them on Yes Style or something like that. I also have their cushion foundation, which I really like. And I really like this blush as well. It actually sets down almost completely. And it works great on top of powder. So this little blush is a definite yes. I mean, it's pretty subtle, but that's okay sometimes. So now we're going into the Lottie London highlighter. It's the Diamond Bounce Illuminating Highlighter. And I think it's supposed to be a little bit like the Fenty cheek bombs. I don't know, the glitter bombs, whatever they're called. So I'm going into my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. This highlighter looks beautiful. Oh, it's so glittery. But it's pretty. It actually has a little bit of a blue cast in it, which matches the eye look very well. It doesn't really have a colored base, so it's mainly glitter. But it does have a little bit of a blue shift, so I kind of like this. So far things are going pretty well today. Now all we have left is lips, and I do have one little lip thing. This Dior Addict Lip Maximizer Mini that I got with my recent Chanel purchase. Look, it's so cute. I think we're just going to try this one with a lip liner. Because we didn't really use any pink, I'm not going to use the pink lip liner, which I actually thought to use. This one is a little bit dark. And this one seems to be okay. So this one is pretty far gone, but it's still working fine. It's from Christian Dior in Earth is the shade. I'm going to line and fill in the lips because I don't think that lip maximizer has a lot of pigment. So this is actually a lot darker than I expected. So now let's go into the teeny tiny lip maximizer, which is in the shade 001. And as I expected, this really hasn't any color to it. It feels a little bit tingly. I guess it's one of those products. It does give a very nice sheen. Now the lipstick doesn't look that dark anymore. Now let's set everything using the Parure Gold Mist by Guerlain. And that's it. That's my finished look. I really loved almost all the products I used today. Even the eyeshadow palette, it actually came out very pretty. So yeah, I liked all the products. Oh wait, no, I forgot about this disaster. Even though it was only like €2, I wouldn't recommend this. It's just impossible to use. Maybe if you use like a cotton pad or something, but who's gonna use a cotton pad to apply bronzer? So no, that's really not the best purchase, but it was the cheapest, so maybe that's okay. I hope you enjoyed me creating this look. If you did, please consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next one.